In a time of oversaturated green screens and smudgy gray CGI that seems practically impossible to differentiate from one blockbuster to the next, the return of the scaled-back Western may be just what we need to revitalize our collective sense of movie-going wonder. Because, let's face it, at this point, we've seen it all. We've seen the most mind-blowing worlds and realities the very expensive combination of CGI and huge studios can bring to life on the big screen. Yet I think now that our eyes have become well adjusted to those digitized imaginary worlds, made them commonplace, perhaps something within us craves the simple yet intoxicating experience of seeing the natural world more prominently on the big screen, of following a group of gritty, weathered, cowboy hat-wearing characters that encapsulate the human experience to the backdrop of nature's grand design. It's a realization I recently had while watching an early screening for a low-budget yet high-passion neo-western titled Howl Coyote Howl. Written, directed, and produced by Dylan T. Sherman, this tightly scripted story was brought to life the old-fashioned way, by a guerrilla film crew with little more than an affection for filmmaking on their side, trekking out to the desert to take advantage of the lush canvas it has to offer. The movie follows Anna, played by Talia Martin, an ex-military badass with her head set on survival, forced to live in the desert while on the run from her ex-boyfriend Dante, who is both the definition of "I'm not over you just yet" and a fascist-like entity with seemingly endless wealth and government connections. It's an efficient way to get Anna to the tumbleweed outskirts of society, away from the surveillance world that could identify and secure her in an instant. Anna's joined by her best friend Gloria, played by Gabriela Fernandez, who is essentially our protagonist's anchor, providing Anna with a grounding sense of humanity and sanity that you get the feeling would be long lost to the fierce terrain without her. Together, they make their way through the desert toward the Mexico border in hopes of attaining freedom from Dante's all-powerful, always-watching eye. Think Sauron if he had a crush on Frodo. But the true scene stealers here are Walcott, played by Dylan T. Sherman himself, and Marty, played by Francis Lloyd Corby. These two border smugglers, also known as coyotes, hired by Anna and Gloria to help secure their mission, are a welcomed reminder of what's so fun about the Western genre. Rugged, shifty characters living within and operating on the code of the wild, on survival. Marty is the comedic relief, touting his love for God and canned beans, while Walcott provides the alluring mystery. The dynamic between him and Anna makes for some engaging character mystique, keeping the audience guessing where the relationship between these two wanderers, who recognize parts of themselves in each other, will ultimately go. Much in the same way the superhero genre is so often an allegorical representation of the individual discovering empowerment within themselves and embarking on a journey of learning to trust and harness that inner power, the spaghetti western is pretty classically known for covering similar ground. Which rounds me back to my original point. A wide open natural landscape just feels so much more metaphorically apt to reflect this kind of character-based exploration than any digitally rendered green screen backdrop on a studio lot ever could. Howl Coyote Howl's seemingly endless desert is reflective of Anna trying to find hope and peace in a subjugating world. But this wasteland is just as character strengthening as it is oppressive. She's tried and tested over the course of this excursion, until she's stripped down to her bare essentials, until all she's left with to guide her are her instincts and intuitions. The story sports many allusions to a divine creator throughout, the characters around Anna consistently imparting that God works in mysterious ways, assuring her that God will guide their path to freedom. And this reoccurring notion is accentuated by the majestic surrounding territory as well. Because whether by design or chance, the desert is ultimately won by the animals that appeal to the innate violence within to survive. And yes, violence is very much integral to this movie. Its measured yet unquivering delve into the gruesome is surprising while still keeping authentic to the story at hand. The brutality is tied into the theme here, the instinctual animalistic pursuit of survival in a wasteland where survival is only granted to the cowboys, or in this case cowgirls, with the most grit. Towards the end, shades of Tarantino really start to show, unsurprisingly given Tarantino's love and constant integration of the Western into his work. Anna feels as if she's been birthed from Uma Thurman's bride from the Kill Bill movies, a blonde rage warrior, winning the audience over with her blood-splattered pursuit of revenge. Believe me, the moment you realize why this movie is called Howl Coyote Howl, it's absolutely glorious, and may even inspire your own animalistic outcry if you're not careful to remind yourself that you're a civilized human being. It also must be said that the desert immersion here is so effective in large because of the superb score provided by Eric Schroeder. It's big, grand, and immerses you in that nostalgic vibe of the wandering western cowboy. Its intertwining with the wide shots of the desert make you feel as though you're right there alongside these characters as they trudge their way through cactus and carcass. And when the bloody drama unfolds, the score reaches just those heights needed to make you practically feel the throwing knife pierce your body. All in all, Howl Coyote Howl hits on something innate and essential about the human experience. Both those with the worst and best intentions in the world have the capacity for primordial violence. Yet, just as innate as that violence is the deep desire for justice and to see the truly righteous prevail against the powerful and oppressive. And our heroine Anna's arc is a beautifully rendered reminder of that constructive instinct. But at the end of the day, sometimes all it takes to bring to your attention what you've missed from cinema for so long is a fun indie western reminding you that our surrounding reality is where the real cinematic money shots reside. So I must recommend you keep an eye out for Howl Coyote Howl and catch it when and wherever it gets its official release date. Because this is the kind of heroic journey Hollywood should be investing in way more often. Something made with love for the art and doesn't require loads of unnecessary studio money and input. Just passionate voices with a distinct vision for what makes their world and their characters pop. I say, bring back the big screen western.